A $200 million man, yet again, can a newly paid Steph Curry win another title? The Giants were brawling yesterday at camp. Did Joe Judge's punishment, though, fit the crime? We'll explain. And when Kevin Wild speaks, Philip Rivers listens, hinting at a possible comeback.
Oh, my goodness. See
Wild,
what
you
you
were
did.
all over this one. Good Wednesday morning, everyone. Welcome to First Things First, alongside Nick and Brandon. The man down there, Kevin Wilds. I'm Jenna Wolf. There's weird, there's wonderful, and now, Kevin, there is wise. Kudos to you, buddy.
That's what, you know what, Jenna? That's why we have the most important show in all of television. Breaking news. Now, other shows break news. We are making news. We break news, we make news.
That's right. You're all over
Way to go, Wilds.
You're all over the news and the way you announced it. We got to start this morning, though, with the newest Laker, but the oldest of friends of LeBron, Carmelo Anthony. 19 years after the two came into the league, they are finally teammates. Lakers bringing Carmelo Anthony into the fold. Lakers needed some shooting, and they'll get it with Melo off the bench. He flourished in that role this past year in Portland, averaging 13 points on 40% from three. Check out how he made the announcement on Twitter. Subtle, working in the Laker logo to his own personal logo. I liked it. It was just sort of there. Melo, where do you think he is? Already in the gym, putting the work in. Skills coach Chris Brickley posting this video of the 10-time All-Star in New York City yesterday. So Lakers made three other moves as well. They signed Malik Monk and Kendrick Nunn. They brought back Taylor Horton Tucker as well. Nick, take all of this in. What was your reaction to the Lakers signing Melo yesterday?
Jenna, I could cry. I'm so happy right now. Listen, I don't know if the Lakers will win the title, but I do know if they win the title, it will be one of the most satisfying championships in sports history for sports fans. If Russ and Melo are able to get rings alongside LeBron and, you know, get the only thing missing from their respective careers. For Melo, a finals appearance is missing from his career. He's only been to the conference finals one time. He's only been out of round one 2 times. It will be spectacular. And we have seen the Carmelo Anthony archetype many times in NBA history. The best version is probably George Gervin, great scorer, never made the finals. Dominique Wilkins, great scorer, never made the finals. Hell, Bernard King did it for the Knicks, great scorer, never made the finals. If Melo, after being left for dead a few years ago by my pal Daryl Morey, and then showing he can still contribute to a winning team at a high level, if he is able to team up, Brandon, with one of his closest friends as these guys approach year 20 and win a championship, it'll just be as special as it gets in sports. So my reaction is I actually think he helps them. He's 40% three-point shooter last year. He understands his role. He won't have a problem coming off the bench. And from an emotional perspective, being able to watch Russ, one of my favorite players ever, and Melo, one of my favorite players ever, team up with LeBron, my favorite athlete ever, it's awesome. I'm excited to see it. I think it can work. And emotionally, I love it.
Great. Right. Me too. Like, I'm a huge Melo fan. He absolutely helps them. Hey, we may see a better Carmelo Anthony in L.A. than we did in Portland. And like Nick said, he was great from the three-point line last year. So here's the deal. They need more of Melo in L.A. than they did in Portland. They had guys that can shoot the ball. They had guys that can get it done in that position.
That's right.
In L.A., there's really not much there. But here's the thing, Nick, all right? Melo, 2006, when I was drafted to the Denver Broncos, Melo was right there. And I was able to sit courtside. I fell in love with Melo. I loved his game. So wherever Melo went, I went. I'm a huge Carmelo Anthony fan, huge Dwayne Wade fan. Those are my guys. So I'm happy that he's in this situation. We're talking about, you know, him leaving New York and then going to OKC and that not working out, and then going to Houston and that not working out. And then everybody in the league is like, we don't think we can touch him. We don't think he understands his role now. So he sat there and he was waiting. He was waiting. And his boy boy Dame came and he went to Portland and he revitalized his career. And now he's there. So I absolutely love this for Carmelo Anthony. He has an opportunity to contend for a championship. But, buddy, you know they say the rich get richer and the old get older. Like, come on. This reminds me of the 2003 Lakers. Yes. This is the 2003 Lakers. This is Karl Malone. Remember when they went out there and they signed Karl Malone?
Yeah,
they signed Karl Malone, Gary Payton. They re-signed Horace Grant. They went out there, had Red Fox on the bench. Come on. This is the Lakers being the Lakers at the end of the day. I love it for Carmelo. Please tell me.
Brandon's not wrong about the 04 Lakers, but here is what is forgotten about that Lakers team. That Lakers team would have won the title if in the NBA Finals all their forwards didn't get hurt. Karl Malone got hurt. Devin George got dinged up. Rick Fox got hurt. They were starting, look it up, they were starting Stanislav Medvedenko at forward in those finals games. And by the way, they did make the finals. They didn't make that team. It was not some massive failure. They made the finals.
2004 Lakers.
Yeah, I agree with you. Except I think this year, and I think they'll win. Except I think that they'll win. But Wilds, as happy as I am, I'm curious how you feel because you're a Knicks fan. You wanted Melo to come to New York, but unfortunately they gave his money to Evan Fournier, so they couldn't fit him in. Okay. So how do you feel with? I'm just telling you. I mean, you gotta give Evan Fournier $80 million. How do you feel about Melo?
All right, so I'm happy for Melo, and yes, I wanted him to come to New York, partly selfishly because I just wanted to watch all the local games and go to a few games, easier commute than going out to LA, but more so because it felt like Melo's career was missing a chapter. It was that sort of homecoming. I wanted one final, like, nice cherry on top of his career. But now I'm actually happier that he's with the Lakers than in New York because I think he can put the defining exclamation point on his career. So look, Melo's been in the league for a long time. He's 10-time All-Star. He's a scoring champ. We all know it. But what is the defining moment of Melo's career? He had a big dunk in Denver where he's like up, like it was a big putback. Like, yeah, maybe. He scored 62 points at the Garden. Like, yeah, kind of. Nobody really remembers that. Nick, I would almost argue that Melo's sort of big moments are outside of the NBA. It's winning a national title at Syracuse. It's winning 3 gold medals. And as silly as it sounds, it's Hoodie Melo out with Chris Brinkley at that gym. They're like 3 big moments. So now that he's teamed with LeBron, and his job is to shoot threes. He's not going to play defense. He's not going to rebound. He's not going to pass the ball. He is going to hit open threes. And the biggest shots of this century were Ray Allen and Kyrie Irving, 2 LeBron-led teams where LeBron is doing the bulk of the work, but another guy hits the big shot. That is set up perfectly for Melo. And if that happens, we will totally change the narrative on Melo's career, where, like you said, hey, he could score, could never get it done, and then it would change you. Like, you know what? Could score and could get it done, so I am overjoyed, Jenna.
And I do think that it's noteworthy when Brandon, because I think a lot of people are going to reference that 04 Lakers team with Malone and Payton. Gary Payton was a somewhat shell of himself. Karl Malone, despite being, as you know, I think year 20, that was for Karl Malone, maybe year 19. I think it was year 20 or year 19. He was still really good. He was still a really good player. Now, he wasn't MVP level Karl Malone, but he was still a really good player. So I do think that, you know, Melo showed you he's got stuff left. Well, yeah, Dwight, I would say, is not as... Dwight is in a different phase, but Dwight is old as well and still can be useful in the role he's asked to play. Right, and the thing is, the question here for them, Brandon, is, are they going to accept these roles? Dwight did accept it 2 years ago. They won the title. And Melo accepted the role in Portland. I think the real question, to be honest, is Russ going to understand his role? That's the... You know, the explosive part of this is Russ going to accept his role. But I love the Melo part. I love it.
Yeah, listen, you said it right, man. Look, this could be a fun season for everybody watching. The Lake Show is back, right? This is pretty cool what LeBron James and company is doing. I don't think that Russell Westbrook will go out there and go against the grain. Like, they sat down and they had that conversation, the big three, he, AD, and LeBron, and they said, okay, AD, are you willing to go down and play the 5 more? And he said yes, and I would expect that, LeBron and Westbrook got on the same page. The problem is not Westbrook accepting it.